The Presidential Campaign Council, PCC, of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has accused the People's Democratic Party of alleged plots to incite violence and derail the 2023 elections. The Director of Public Affairs and spokesperson of the Tinubu-Shettima Presidential Campaign Council, Festus Keyamo, in a statement issued yesterday, called on the law enforcement agencies to, as a matter of urgency, invite PDP leaders for immediate questioning. He said the call had become imperative following the latest press statement issued by the PDP about having credible information about certain individuals plotting to derail the 2023 elections. Joining us on this show this morning to respond to the accusation from the APC Presidential Campaign Council is Ologbondiyan, former National Publicity Secretary of the PDP and spokesperson for the Atiku Abubakar Presidential Campaign Council. Welcome to the morning show, Kola. Good to have you on the program.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ruben Abati. And let me commend you and Rufai, though you appears not to be on this program, for standing strong in spite of the assailing on the other side. Keep doing the great work that you are doing in the interest of our nation. Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas, Kola. Well, quickly, let me ask you.
But you just said that we're having a bleak Christmas. Anyway, whether bleak or not, it's still Merry Christmas to you, Doctor.
No, but you are not part of the 133 million that will not be able to have Christmas.
Oh, Doctor, don't go, Dr. Babati, don't go into the arena at all. You know, we are the people, we are the masses.
Anyway, Festus Keyamo, spokesperson for the APC, says that for leaders of the PDP, spokespersons of the PDP, to have claimed that some people in APC are the ones behind the attacks on INEC facilities and that the APC is planning to derail the 2023 elections, that you must provide proof. And he has a point there, because when you make an allegation, you prove. It's a basic principle. He who alleges must prove. And that credible information that is in possession of the PDP must be shared with the security agencies. What do you say to that challenge?
The proof is clear to every Nigerian, Doctor. Doctor, I said every Nigerian is aware of the proof. I wonder why Festus Keyamo, SAN, is running around and looking for proofs. Was he not aware that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu spoke to leaders of his party in London and told them to go and snatch, grab, and seize power and run away with it? What other proof? And have we not told the security agencies to put the leadership of APC under watch? What other proof is he looking for? Have they defended that? Have Nigerians told them that they have accepted their defense? So what other proof is he asking for? Dr. Abati, you recall that on this platform, in the beginning of the campaigns, I did appeal when they began to lift heavy instruments, and I mean verbal instruments, against the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar. On this very platform, I made an appeal that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Atiku Abubakar are friends, and are those who have been appointed to come and discuss the issues of their desires to run the affairs of this country, should not engage in subterfuge and blackmail. But they didn't listen. And Atiku and Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself, when he went to Kaduna, assailed Atiku Abubakar. And at every forum where he has managed, where he has struggled to put thought process together, he has always assailed Atiku Abubakar. In spite of the fact that Atiku Abubakar has always appealed to us that when they go low, you go high. We won't sit down and watch them. And also, how can somebody who has a litany of global allegations and cannot even respond to them be the one assailing a man who is going around about his campaign quietly and gently and appealing to Nigerians and bringing out realistic solutions to the challenges of our country? How can we sit down and watch him be assailed? So if Festus Keyamo is asking security agencies to invite those who are responsible for this allegation, he should look inwards first and foremost. He should ask his principal, how did he come about a situation in which he was calling on leaders and members of his party to go and snatch, to go and grab, to run away with power?
Well, thank you, Mr. Ologbondiyan. It's interesting because the allegations you're making are really, really deep. It's not enough to surmise and postulate as to what may have happened in a closed-door meeting. Indeed, let me read the exact quote from Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu that your party, Mr. Ologbondiyan, had said in a statement. He said, Tinubu had said, political power is not going to be served in a restaurant. It is not served a la carte. It is what we're doing. It is being determined. You do it at all costs. Fight for it, grab it, snatch it, and run with it. It's important to just state that so that the public is aware of the exact statement that you're referring to. Also, in that statement, the PDP accused the APC of being perhaps behind the attacks on INEC offices, vote buying, or especially PVCs. These are heavy accusations, and as I mentioned earlier on, we can't just postulate. We need to come with evidence. Dr. Bati mentioned that earlier. However, the evidence we're asking for isn't yet, you haven't yet presented that. What evidence does the PDP have beyond hearsay as to what came out from a meeting that they weren't present in to make such bold statements and accusations against the APC?
Good morning, Ayo, and thank you for this question. It is strange that you are calling this a hearsay, an allegation that was on video that Nigerians watch across the globe, in which Asiwaju was saying that his members and leaders should go and snatch and grab and run away with power. I don't understand what we are talking about here. I truly don't understand it. And you are calling that hearsay, and that we were not part of the meeting. If we were not part of the meeting and the video is on display across the globe, so how do we detach from it? And we are in the election, in the same election, with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So, and are we not witness situation of vote buying in which APC is responsible?
No, you can't say
and
APC. Mr. Ologbondiyan, you can't say the APC is responsible without facts. That is an accusation. That's how, I'd like you to explain to Nigerians.
What other facts?
Just explain to Nigerians how you can't point fingers, especially at this level, and say that the APC is responsible without evidence. Yes, we've seen videos going around, but it doesn't clearly state which party it is. It could very well be the PDP as well.
So that's an assumption now.
The same assumption you're making.
We have had election, even election that we had in... wait now, you're asking questions. Let me respond to you. Are you speaking for APC? If you are not speaking for APC, ask me a question and let me respond to you. We don't need to fight over this. We don't need to fight over this one. You understand? In the last election in Osun State, did you not witness vote buying by APC? So if we say that APC is engaged in vote buying, and there are videos to postulate that, and as a matter of fact, let me even remind you, Ayo, that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself, in the Ekiti election, made a pronouncement and said that if you don't vote, you will not get money. It's on video, it's circulated. So what are we talking about? So why are we saying that we are doing hearsay when it's a video that I can forward to you after this program? How does that amount to hearsay? So look, help us as politicians, because it is your responsibility to help us and guide us. But the only way we can do this is to speak to the sacredness of facts. We can't run away from facts. If Asiwaju Bola Ahmed went to Ekiti and said that, look, if you don't vote, you will not get money. What is that? What is it encouraging? Did you hear that from Atiku Abubakar? And if he went to London and called his leaders or his members of his party together and said, go and snatch power, go and grab it, go and run away with it, what imagery does that portend? And what images was he creating? So these are the issues. So it's not enough to say that, oh, we are talking about hearsay when we have video, when even the party itself and their campaign has not denied this.
Okay, well,
Thank you.
Well, let's talk about imagery. When Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu said power is not served a la carte, you're not serving something a la carte, it's a very common metaphor. The first time he used that expression was in 2018. It wasn't at a political campaign, it was at a book presentation, a book even on the accountancy profession. But when you tell somebody that something is not served a la carte, it's not something you just sit down and you have a menu and you pick and choose and you say, go and serve me this. I thought that another way of interpreting it is to say that if you want power, you must struggle for it. You must work hard for it. How does that translate into recommendation of violence? I mean, as a student of language, I think that, jumping in that direction would be a bit tough. However, my next question to you is this. Keyamo accuses the PDP of scaremongering. Keyamo says PDP is avoiding the issues. Is PDP avoiding the major issues of the day? And what are those issues for the PDP?
Thank you very much, Dr. Keyamo. Well, I'm not in a position to contend with you on literary issues because that is where your PhD comes from. However, it's imperative to say that the images that grabbing, snatching, running away creates also elucidate violence. You can be my teacher and you can mark my script. And I know that if I wrote this for you in an exam, you will pass me. But let's leave that aside. Having said that, Dr. Abati, it's also very imperative to say that if there is any group, if there is any party in the political firmament today who has consistently run away from issues, it is the All Progressive Congress Presidential Campaign Council, as well as their candidates and their handlers. Dr. Abati, from the beginning, Atiku Abubakar has been addressing issues. I was reading the papers this morning, and I saw Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu saying that, whether you protest or not, we will remove subsidy. And I say, these people must take Nigerians for jokers. You are telling us in the year of our Lord 2022 that no matter the protest, you are going to remove subsidy. Has he quickly forgotten the role he played when Goodluck Jonathan wanted to remove subsidy? Who led the protest? I don't understand. They think Nigerians are fools? So you are coming back now to say that no matter how much you protest, you are going to remove subsidy. When it is clear already, when Nigerians by themselves, having discovered that they were led on a journey to nowhere, and having made a detour from that journey, have come out to say that, look, give us the subsidy and let us face the consequence. Dr. Abati, we must not forget history quickly. Even though they said it's not being taught in school any longer. You remember that during the Obasanjo and Atiku tenure, that was when we began, that's when we had the issue of the lexicon of palliatives. And what led to that? Because there was a gradual removal of subsidy, and palliatives were being provided to manage removal of subsidy. It was in Atiku's administration as Vice President, President Obasanjo. And in that light, Jonathan also continued. What have we had in the last 7 to 8 years? Who were the people who came out and said that there's nothing like subsidy? Anybody who says there's subsidy is a scam. Here we are. So we are coming back to say that no matter. So when we talk about talking to the issues, Atiku Abubakar remains the only candidate who started ahead of any other to raise issues. He spoke to the issues of unity. I heard Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu talking about agriculture. Agriculture in an environment of insecurity, in an environment where people go to farm and get murdered, in an environment where people go to fish in waters and got killed, without solving that problem, You think anybody will go to farm? All the money that has been wasted on anchor program, where has it taken Nigeria to? So we need to face the reality. We need to face the fact. And Keyamo cannot sit down anywhere and say that we are running away from issues. Which issue are we running away from? We are the ones discussing the issues. When they discovered that, they themselves discovered it. Nobody forced them. Nigerians didn't ask them. They came out and said that they cannot campaign with Buhari's agenda and that they would rather resort to Lagos. And they went to Lagos and they are claiming that they built Lagos. And I said, when you say you built Lagos, what are we going to say about Baba Kekere, the late Lateef Jakande? What are we going to say about him? What do we say about Mobolaji Johnson? What do we say about Akimbode? What are we going to talk about Fashola? So one man is appropriating the achievements of his predecessors in office as well as his successors in office. Is that not laughable? So we are the ones discussing issues. But they thought that we could get distracted if they came after us with our heavy liftings. And we have managed to sustain them while we are not running away, while we keep talking about the issues. Thank you very much, Dr. Abati.
All right, thank you very much. Just to mention that the federal government has returned the teaching of history in schools, so that should be good news in terms of being able to know where we're coming from in order to chart our journey into the future. But let me come back again to the accusations, particularly because the spokesperson of the APC has challenged you to speak to security operatives following the statement by the PDP. One of which again states that, and I'll read just so that it's it's for a direct quote from Mr. Ologbondiyan, who says that that you received intelligence that part of the ploy is to orchestrate attacks in other states, including Kogi and Delta, some states of the southeast as well as parts of the north, and that's attack on INEC facilities with the view to subverting the electoral process in as many states as possible. This is, of course, as you would imagine, a great concern to Nigerians, particularly Nigerians who want to protect their vote, as we've seen quite an interest and a larger turnout of voter registration, want to protect their votes. So these are quite heavy allegations. I'd like to ask you, if the PDP has information or intelligence, why haven't you taken that, even if you don't want to share it perhaps for security reasons on national TV, why haven't you taken that information to security agencies? Or perhaps the question I should ask is, have you taken it to security agencies and what has the response been? Because this is a matter of security concern. We've had conversations on this show where we talked about the fact that despite 50 attacks on INEC offices across Nigeria since 2019. We haven't seen an arrest, prosecution, and so this would be important information to give to security agencies, don't you think? And then just talking about the fact that Nigerians, yes, maybe answer that question first and I would go to the next one later.
Thank you very much, Ayo. I'm sure you were here when we had election in Kogi State. I'm sure you were in Nigeria. And if you were not, if Nigeria is of concern, you must have read about what happened in the last election in Kogi State. I hope you heard about a fellow woman like you was burnt to death. I hope you heard how INEC itself, how one of the commissioners in INEC came out and said that there were more gunshots in Kogi in that election, much more than the number of votes that were recorded. I hope you were aware of all this. So when the party is raising concern, Ologbondiyan speaks for the party. When the party is raising concerns, they are coming from somewhere. And you don't just shoot it down. Because in spite of all the shouts, in spite of all the issues raised ahead of that election in Kogi State, assurances were given. But what happened? People lost their lives. A woman, just like you, got killed and burnt in her residence, not at the polling unit. People filed up at the polling units to vote. There were helicopters shooting down at voters. The kind of violence that was witnessed in that election was unknown in the history of this country. What happened thereafter? Ayo, are you aware that anything happened thereafter? So when the party, as opposition party, is raising issues and challenges, you don't try to shoot it down. Because at the end of the day, elections will hold. And similar scenarios can be played up by those who have already been rejected by the people. So we must help INEC to get the security, by getting the security agencies to look in the direction of issues that are being raised. So when we told the security agencies, Ayo, that based on what Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu directed his members to do at their meeting in London, which has been in the public space, the video is being played around, though you claim it is hearsay. What has been done on that matter? Because we reported to the security agencies by coming out to say this is what has happened, by ensuring that the video is nearly in every home in Nigeria. So what had happened since then? So I think the approach should be, and this is an advice, that we should advise the security agencies to help us ensure a peaceful, free, fair, and credible 2023 election. And that is why we told President Muhammadu Buhari, don't concern yourself about campaigning for Asiwaju. He has been rejected already by the people. So why are you going to waste your own time? Precious time. Concentrate that time in guaranteeing a free and fair and credible election. That's what the Nigerians ask of you. And that way, if you can just leave the legacy of fairness, of free and fair election, Nigerians will remember you for good.
Well, on that note, Kola Ologbondiyan, we would like to thank you very much for joining us. But you can be sure that Festus Keyamo has the capacity to respond, to the statements you've made on the program this morning. I'm not sure he's going to allow you go easily like that.
Thank you. They are just he will come and rabble-rouse once again. He has not, when he comes, please help me to tell him that he told Nigerians that the $460,000 that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu forfeited in the United States to the U.S. authorities was a tax. Nigerians have been asking since then, what business did Asiwaju do for that sum of taxation to be deducted from his account?
Well,
Festus Keyamo has been running away from the public arena since that time. He should come here now and tell us. And that they should bring their candidate for debate.
Okay, I'm
10 minutes.
I'm sure he's watching and listening to you. Thank you very much indeed.